I was going to say first, brain transference serum would be an awesome name for a band.
That is why it doesn't exist.
Well, it does, but they just call it BTS.
Oh, yes. Do you love the movies? Did you love the search for the perfect rental on a Friday night? Did your parents have all the premium channels, including the ones with the naughty people doing the naughty things way late at night? I know I did. Inspired me in many ways. I don't know about Anthony.
I can see what it did for your life.
Welcome to Mike and Anthony's Soda Pop Culture Club. Me, Mike, along with my co-host, Anthony.
My dad would give me his porno collection if I got to see.
Oh, yes. Bring our take on a classic movie every Monday from the 80s, 90s, and beyond, during which we'll play the game and open up a 6-pack of favorite scenes. We also point out a couple of generic scenes as well. At the end of the show, we will rate the movie 1 to 24 cans. 1 can is you transferring brains with your pet, which would really be weird. And 24 cans is transferring brains with Ryan Reynolds, because then, you'd be fucking Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Well, you'd be Ryan Reynolds fucking. I don't think you'd be fucking Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
exactly.
But before we get to all that, we want to let you know we now have a Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, we can deliver you episodes that are bonuses and special content and cool stuff, and then you can help us keep the lights on. It's just one of those things. There are other tiers on there that you can choose. They give you other special things, like us calling you a special name like a soda jerk. It's awesome. So if you like what you hear, want to make sure we keep doing it and keep delivering this mediocre content, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Tier 1 keeps the lights on. The higher tiers let us get LED strips.
Yeah, the higher tiers,
the
that
cool
lets
lights.
us have a budget, and that means we can travel. And you might get content of us at movie places.
We can do autograph sessions in
Yeah.
the neighborhood.
Woo! Now, I do want to say we have a goal, and it's a modest goal, if you ask me, of 10 patrons by October, so that way we can keep all episodes available all the time rather than only keeping the last 12 available. That's our modest goal. So help us get there so that we can keep delivering the great stuff to you. And we still have our website, sodapopcultureclub.com, where you can check out our episode schedules. You can still buy our merch there and make movie suggestions. And that also helps us support the show. So do that. And just remember, with requests, to use our Venmo or PayPal. So if you make a movie request, it's at Soda Pop Culture Club. Send us an email. Let us know why you want us to do it. And that's pretty cool. Now, your friends, you gotta let them know about our show so that way they can enjoy it as well. And you got to check out our Instagram at Mike and Anthony, where we post thirst traps of Anthony's abs. I say it every week, but I'm lying.
I don't know why you keep saying that.
We post thirst traps of Anthony's son's drawings of his abs.
Oh, there you go. Put that picture up.
And we post clever memes that go along with the movies we discuss. And I have some other ones in the can that I'm working on. And finally, we need you to go to Apple Podcasts, hit us up for a 5-star or any star review and a comment so that over there our show does better, because for some reason I think that's the only thing the algorithm over there understands. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm,
yes, leave us the reviews, please. We appreciate it so we can beat the algorithm.
I read every one. I just want to let you know, any review that I can see, I read. There you go.
We want to kick that algorithm's ass. Knock
so,
its
Anthony,
dick in the dirt. Yeah.
Do you want me to just hit the trailer, or do you want to say
something? Hit it up.
All right.
Dr. Jack Hammond had one of the most brilliant minds in the medical community until he and his son...
Hi.
...exchanged minds.
Chris? Dad? There's no such thing as a brain transference.
Now, the doctor...
See ya.
...is back in high school.
It's really not cool to scam on your own son's date.
The main bronchi and its branches are evenly distributed about the circumference of the tube.
Riveting.
And his son...
Hi, Bob. Whoa! I have a martini.
Want that on the rocks?
No, in a glass is fine.
is a virgin surgeon.
Just take off all our clothes and just go at it. Rubbing and feeling.
Let's rock and roll.
You've been out all night in my body. You are grounded for the rest of your life. Brain transfers is a very inexact science, as you might well imagine.
Don't worry, Mr. Astin. We're not gonna let you die. Are we, guys?
No.
God, this is great. I love it.
You go right now and do whatever the hell you have to do to get us out of this thing.
I can't stabilize him. He's in V-tech. This racing.
I'm not Dr. Hammond.
Going into V-tech. Put him one.
What?
Hit him, Dr. Hammond. Hit him.
Dudley Moore, Kirk Cameron. Like father, like son.
There we go. I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like this is one of those movies when the listeners saw it come out, they were either like, what the fuck is that? Or, holy shit, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, that because it's totally under the radar. But there was I'll go into it later, but there was a like run on these types of movies.
Yeah, there was.
At that time. So this is definitely one of them. And I forgot about it too, but just to give your numbers. Just give your numbers.
All right, I will. Here's the breakdown by the numbers. Directed by Rod Daniel and starring Dudley Moore, Kirk Cameron, Margaret Collin, Catherine Hicks, and Sean Astin. Like Father, Like Son was released on October 2nd, 1987, taking in $34.4 million at the box office against a $10.5 million budget. To put this in a little perspective as far as return on investment, E.T. that we did not that long ago had the same $10.5 million budget 5 years prior and made $792.9 million at the box office. Just saying.
Before this inflation.
Yeah. It scores 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb and a 37% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. I give
because there's no critic score.
Because it doesn't even register on the tomato meter.
Yeah.
Critic score.
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with.
Which sadly, that's why we're not going to have the game this episode, because there's no critics. I can't, if I can't find any critics, it's just, which I'm sure there are plenty, obviously, at a 37% score. It's got to be plenty of critics out there.
Yeah, we're skipping the game. It's going to be a shorter episode, I guess.
We'll call it something else. I'll do something. But I got a couple facts for you. The picture itself debuted at the American box office at number 2 rank after the first place suspense thriller Fatal Attraction, which I did see in the theater, oddly enough. I did see Fatal Attraction with my mother in the theater at that time.
That's weird.
Well, she probably wanted to go see a movie. I was at that age where I was in like 7th grade, so I could probably handle it. So she was like, we're going.
Yeah, we're
She's
going.
like, I'm tired of never getting to go to a movie.
Yeah.
I
will watch 2 people fuck on a sink. And you're coming with me, son. There you go.
Well, we already know. Our whole intro is about how I saw shit I probably shouldn't have seen.
We all have.
Well, I don't know about now. We just could. Well, with the internet, who knows?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you could control people can control more about what people watch, but at the same time, you can't, right? Like, it's like weird. Here's another thing for you. One of the more demanding aspects of the film for actors Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron was having to learn to play 2 separate roles. Each had to play a wild, zany young teenager and an obsessive, middle-aged medical genius. Director Rod Daniel said it was very, very difficult. We spent rehearsal time working on those moments when they had to deal with each other and each other's bodies and less on the physical stuff, which tends to take care of itself. It really is difficult because it's like retraining yourself. And do you know what other movie Rod Daniel did that you may not know? He did Teen Wolf.
Oh, did he?
Which we were going to do, and we chose not to because it was kind of went into a hole.
Yeah.
And so there you go. So, yeah.
It's funny, like, at first you think they're actors. I mean, how hard is that? But when you really think about it, that would be pretty difficult. It's not just about playing like you're playing a kid or a kid playing an adult. It's you got to play it the way that they're playing it.
You got to play it like a kid playing an adult.
I have to play the kid the way Kirk Cameron is playing that kid in the movie.
Yeah,
yeah. It's not just playing a kid. I got to play it the way that you're playing that same role.
So here's the thing. We don't have the game, but I'm going to hit the music because I like it. And then I'm going to do something. Here you go. All right. No game, but you got our bumper there. So I'm just going to ask Anthony a question. So there we go.
Okay.
If we did a little bit of brain transference, how would you react and what would you do? What's the first thing you'd do?
Is suicide an option?
No, that's not even right, dude. Although here's the thing: if you killed yourself, I would then be left in your body.
Oh,
How would you feel about that?
Not good for my family.
So that's at least finally they had someone. I wonder if I could sing. Well, according to this movie, you could.
No, you couldn't because you would have my voice because we're not the cat and the dog.
I would go to try and use what I know is my ability, and it would sound like your Creed warbling that I put at the beginning of one of our episodes.
There you go. Yeah.
Did you listen to that? I don't know if you did.
I don't know if I did.
The listeners have listened to it.
Probably.
At the beginning, I think of Waiting is where you do the let's go yeah.
With arms wide open.
Yeah. Yes.
Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything.
I would immediately teach your kid to be a Browns fan.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh yeah, I would.
Oh no,
he's
you
young
wouldn't.
enough and impressionable enough. I could switch that.
No, because my wife would fucking kill you.
What?
My wife would fucking kill you.
Oh yeah, she would. She wouldn't. She
would
know. She would know I'm not. She know something's wrong is when I didn't clean the house.
Yes.
Say, what the fuck's wrong with you, Anthony?
Exactly.
Yeah, and when I didn't go to bed with her. That's the other part.
You would know something's wrong with me.
Why do you sleep on the couch, and why do you never pick anything up? You're starting to seem a lot like Mike when he's here.
Yeah. Why are you eating pizza for breakfast?
Yeah. Oh, we get that. We get you swole in the right ways.
Wow. Get some rock hard abs.
All right. Are you ready for this?
When the fuck did you start drinking Diet Pepsi?
You would be. That'd be
that
weird.
Would do it. Yes.
Yeah.
She sees me drinking Diet Pepsi. That would it would click right there.
Are you ready?
You're Mike. And the shriek that would come is just, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Chris Hammond is a high school senior. He likes a girl at school who happens to be dating his rival and bully, Rick. His father, Jack, is a very successful surgeon and working hard to get a promotion to the position of the chief of staff at his hospital. He also wants his son to become a doctor as well, but Chris is not interested. Chris's friend, Clarence Trigger, is that what it does? Clarence Trigger, his name is Trigger. Trigger, whose uncle Earl had been bitten by a snake whilst in the desert. Earl had his leg fixed by a Native Americans with a body-switching potion called the brain transference serum. Trigger shows Chris how the brain transference serum works by trying it out on Chris's cat and dog, and the pets switch bodies. Trigger brought the brain transference serum in a Tabasco sauce bottle, and the Hammond's housekeeper, Phyllis, finds the bottle and puts it in the food cupboard, which is just genius in my opinion. Jack unwittingly puts it on his Bloody Mary. The serum works by someone ingesting it. Then the next person that looks into their eyes switches body with them. As Jack looks into his son's eyes while having a disagreement over a C grade on an important test, the father and son switch bodies. Fuck me. Wow. That's a lot.
I was going to say first, brain transference serum would be an awesome name for a band.
That is. Why it doesn't exist?
Well, it does, but they just call it BTS.
Oh, yes. Mic drop. You know, you don't know anything about that.
I don't, and I don't want to.
Yes, that's awesome. Oh, now I do want to say right off the bat, this is two Sean Astin movies that we have done.
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. Yeah, correct me.
He's not a city in Texas.
How do you know that?
Because I do.
We don't know that because if you watch Men in Black, the last two episodes, you know that anything is possible. We could be in a marble, and Sean Astin could be Austin, Texas.
Yes, he drives an Aston Martin.
Yeah, could be.
There you go.
But anyways, this is like two movies we've done with him. Rather,
quick. We did Goonies too.
And we've done Goonies. Yeah,
Sean Astin Appreciation Month, I guess.
Yeah, but the reason we did this one to me is because I wanted to do a body swap movie, and there's the usual suspects. You have Freaky Friday, 18 Again. What's the one with Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold? They have one.
Yes.
They have one.
Fred Savage, he's going through some shit right now.
Is he? Like what?
He just got fired from his Wonder Years gig.
Whoa! What the fuck did he do? I wonder.
For poor behavior, basically. Outbursts and shit like that.
Has he grown? Is he like as in his old age? He's like a prima donna when he get back on the set.
He's just a fucking dick.
Well, yeah. Well, I will say this about this movie. We picked it, but it's too bad we couldn't Kirk Cameron. Too bad.
Yeah.
We have to suspend some of what we know about him, right? Because
Yeah.
what he's become, it's like it's hard to watch this movie. It's just hard. That's
It's
all
not
I'm
hard
saying.
to. I mean, it's to me,
If we could just stop him from ever getting past this time where he was likable,
right.
That's the thing. If we could keep him in Growing Pains and movies like this, and never let him grow up to be whatever he's become.
And so this is like actually, it's something that was in my notes from this movie. It makes you wonder what Kirk Cameron's career would have been like before he got super religious and started making those avant-garde shit-tastic movies that he's doing. But it's like for all the times that we've talked about in the past when we do different movies, like different actors that were up for certain roles, and then, like other people that we think could have played certain roles. Maybe we should just start using Kirk Cameron from here on out.
Could he have been? Could
Kirk Cameron have gotten that role?
Had he not
Kirk
gone?
Cameron have been Batman by now? How many DiCaprio roles would have been stolen by Kirk Cameron?
It makes you wonder, or is he just a prisoner of his time like Ricky Schroeder?
No, Kirk Cameron made his own choices to go in the direction he wanted to.
Yeah.
So,
he did.
Which I'm not faulting him for that because I really
I am. He's a dumbass.
Whatever. But he's not.
I'll fault him.
He has his beliefs.
Yeah, beliefs don't make you a good person or right.
No, I know, but
just throw it out there. That's the way I am about it. Like
nothing makes you a good person. So what are you talking about? But it's serious. Like Kirk Cameron, that's what I'm saying. Would he have been Batman at this point? Do you think? Or Superman?
He could have been. He could have been something, or he could have gotten to the romantic comedy roles. I think being the heartthrob.
He could have been a Hallmark staple.
Oh fuck! Dude, I'm surprised he's not, even with where he's at now.
Right?
That must be too much for him. That's even too much for him. A Hallmark movie.
He would have been Hallmark Gold. Jeez.
Yeah. The girls now would be swooning.
They would have fucking changed it to Cameron Mark.
Yeah. I want to talk about a couple things. We see Jack at work, and I was wondering how much does Jack make as a surgeon, even back then?
Because he's making bank.
I'll say he's making some bank. Yeah.
Surgeons make fucking money, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, they also have that liability insurance, so.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Now, I want to go.
Just once.
This is second time we've talked about this, but they end up dissecting a frog, and I'm just so happy.
Yes.
That I never dissected one, but you have a 6-pack here, is that correct?
I do, yes.
Here we go.
One of my favorite parts is Sean Astin doing the Friday the 13th. Kill. Before Kirk Cameron stabs a frog. Which is funny. Another great reason for that being a 6-pack to me, a side note, is the timing that we're actually recording this episode on Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's excellent timing. I didn't even look at that. So that is awesome. Now I will say but here I'm going to give my generic now, because while they're in school, I believe this is said by. Oh, there we go. I believe this is said by Trigger. Oh no!
Oh shit!
No
carnage!
I believe this is said by Trigger. How can she stand to be so close to her own body without constantly feeling herself up? What's the creep factor on that phrase? I just gotta know.
It's up there.
It's pretty high. Oh man. I mean, how can Ryan Reynolds be himself without wanting to just touch himself all day long?
All day long. Why would you ever leave the house?
Well, yeah, why?
I'm going to go ahead and throw my generic out, too.
All right, we'll hit it if I can do it right.
All right. Oh, what the hell are you doing, man? How many generics are we having? The cat and the dog. Like, I get... I get that they are showing that the serum works, but the BTS, let's just call it the BTS. How about that?
Yeah.
I fucking hate, and I get why they're doing it to show it works, but I hate that the cat starts barking and the dog meows.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous.
It is, because by that logic, Kirk Cameron should have had Dudley Moore's voice when they swapped and vice versa.
Yes.
So I'm calling bullshit on that. You can show the cat start chasing the dog.
But that's what you and I were just saying, and I think in our conversation we kind of went into it, where I said if I tried to sing and I was you, it wouldn't sound the same. Just like the cat would try to meow, and it would probably come out and the dog would try to bark, it'd be like a little it'd be a cat bark, like a little high pitched bark.
Right. So I mean, like maybe they could have done it where it's just like they don't outwardly do that, but it shows them, like it's like in their mind growling.
What they
and
should have
barking
done
or
is
something.
shown the in the mind bark that he's thinking, and then the cat make a noise, and it's like some pathetic sound that's not right. Like that would have been.
Or they just take off and the dog goes to the kitty litter box, and then the cat starts eating out of the dog bowl.
Or yeah, very
Something
explainable. Have two little beds on the ground, one with each of them's name.
Yeah.
And then the cat goes to the dog one.
Second spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. We fixed that scene. That's so dumb.
It is. It just bugs me.
Yeah. But when Dudley Moore comes home before they do the switch, I think it's a law that Dudley Moore has to drink in a movie.
I think so.
Because he's making Bloody Mary is the whole reason he does. And how believable is it that he did that? I mean, just for us as a childhood.
I love the in the the trailer that you played. Do you want that on the rocks? No, in a glass is fine.
Yeah.
Arthur 2 was on the rocks.
Yes, it was. Arthur 2 on the rocks. Yeah, he was Dudley Moore, a treasure.
He is. And if you're going to get typecast, that's the way to do it. Give me a drink in this movie.
But the sound effects, though, when they do the brain transfers, that was awful.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
There are some bad things. I mean, the concept is good. I like this mechanism a little more than some other ones, but the concept is good. But you had a did you have another 6-pack? Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah, which I already said at the beginning of the
I'll let you say it because I thought we forgot it. After he finds out he got the C on his test.
Yes. It's probably my favorite line. My dad would give me his porn collection if I got a C.
That is a pretty good. I thought
would you want your dad's porn collection? Because that's kind of weird.
Well, yeah. Well, back then, think of the 80s, how hard it was to get your hands on it at all.
It was. But at the same time, just the idea that you're stroking to the same thing your dad did, that's weird.
What is that? What is that called? If it's not Eskimo Brothers, what would that be called? Teepee Twins?
Teepee Twins?
That's that come off the top of the head there, like, hey.
The KY connection.
Oh, yes. A Teepee Twin sounds good.
Lotion Lads.
Oh, that's, because that is kind of creepy, but at the same time, how do you know? In internet days, you don't know whether you're looking at the same thing your dad is or not anyways.
That's true.
You wouldn't, you could be watching the same shit.
Oh, at the same time.
When it goes up 2 views, it's you guys. That's what it is.
Climax together in different rooms.
But that was right before they switched. That the C thing, the C was right before they switched. That's what they were arguing about when they looked in each other's eyes, and we got the awful music.
Right.
But my favorite thing is when Dudley Moore asks him, as Kirk Cameron, "Are you in there?" And he says, "Yes, Dad, I'm old."
Yeah,
I'm old.
It's like Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jamie Lee Curtis is like, I'm like the Crypt Keeper.
That's a good one. Would you check out the lay of the land right away, or would you be too depressed?
I think I'd pour myself a drink.
Yeah, good. But I just wondered if you would because when you went, you'd eventually have to check out the lay of that land if you pour yourself a drink. I'm just saying.
You mean would I right away?
Yeah, be like, oh shit.
Be looking down under.
Yeah.
See what kind of thunder I'm working with.
What kind of curiosity would you have? It's awful.
I don't because in your mind you're still looking at your dad's dick. So no.
But yeah, you're looking at your dad's dick and you're gonna wipe your dad's ass.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, shake your dad's dick after you take a whiz.
Why couldn't they just take the serum, put it back in the thing, and then do it? Why was there this whole other thing they had to do? Because when you watch the beginning of this where they show the first use of it with the guy,
yeah,
it seemed like that's all they did was take another drink, look in each other's eyes, and it was done. Why couldn't they do that again? Why was there some special ceremony that they had to go?
They apparently did the ceremony and we just didn't see it in the beginning.
Maybe I was gonna say because it seemed like all you had to do was drink and look.
I think you had to do the whole Camp Kick a Key chant. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey. So I don't know.
All right. Yeah, it's your turn, man.
Plot hole, I guess. All right. So Traeger states that he will get in contact with his uncle Earl in order to find a way for the two to switch back, but Earl has just left for another trip. Chris goes to town in his dad's body using his dad's credit card to shop and party with Trigger along for the ride. He bumps into his dad's boss's wife while out in a bar, but he does not realize who she is or that she wants to bump uglies with him. She comes on to him and he accepts. In the morning, Jack in his son's body and Chris in his father's body woke up screaming and realized they are not dreaming, and this is in fact really happening. Jack is upset that Chris got drunk in his body and chews him out and tries to punish him for it. The next day, Jack goes to school in Chris's place, and Chris cannot leave the house or go to Jack's job. Chris called Jack's office to call in sick for a few days. Jack's boss, Larry, goes to Jack's house to check up on him and sees that he's feeling better because he's doing fucking cartwheels in the living room. Jack gets called into work at the private hospital where his dad works, and he ends up handing out a bunch of pills to patients while doing rounds. He also seconds a motion proposed by his dad's colleague suggesting the hospital could treat patients with no insurance. In Chris's words, the hospital should screw the insurance. That's got leadership qualities written all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Damn the man. Save the empire.
I see you have a note here, but before we get to that one, let's talk about some other things. I guess I could see this happening. Like, this would be maybe once you discovered your dad's American Express gold card that you could have a good time.
Yes. The credit card? Well,
yes.
And when watching that scene, it made me think of the Tim Curry Grinch scene in Home Alone 2, where he smiles, he finds out the credit card's stolen. It's like the same reaction to me.
Yeah, he's a good facial actor too, Tim Curry.
Yes. Yeah.
So he made that.
Great one.
Now, the thing is, they get that card and they spend all that money on such bad clothes. They look so awful in this movie, all the clothes they buy.
But back
I
then,
guess it was that time period.
That was the fashion.
I will say, to me, between the two and the acting, Dudley Moore to me did have a decisive change, and he looked a lot more like a green teenager and more inexperienced after the transfer. Like, I think his acting in that was really good.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a great one. So there you go. I guess you don't have a thought on that one. Fuck you.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. It's kind of funny because like it should be easier for him because he's been a teenager before.
Yeah, but I just think he makes a better Chris than Kirk makes a Jack.
But I get that it's also, I mean, I think it's a good metaphor for like how different high school is for each generation.
I guess, but he really I think it's because of we've seen him in roles where he can be very inadequate, like in Arthur and Perfect 10 and some other movies, like where Dudley Moore has that ability. And I just think he way overacted. He way outdid Kirk Cameron, I think, in the ability to be more like him than Kirk Cameron could be. Like Kirk Cameron looked like he was trying too hard to be his father, in my opinion.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's easier, probably in that sense, to play the kid role.
Yeah,
and have fun and not give a shit and just pass out pills to everybody.
Yeah,
it's easier to channel your inner youth to have that come across than to pretend to be a stuffy adult when you have not become that yet.
It may be harder. I mean, I will say I did like how his father really flexed his knowledge in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like he was having a day there just teaching class, kind of.
Wheelhouse.
And I have this feeling that Jack, and you get that when you see him little pieces in the movie, he could give two shits about what people think.
Right.
Like he has that perspective, like, fuck you, I don't care. Like the bully and all that stuff. Like, he just could give two shits about any of those people and is just doing him. And I kind of like that.
Like, I think because that's like, as an adult, that's what you realize. This is nonsense. This is stupid. You're going to grow up to be a loser. I'm still going to have a nice car. Piss off.
Now, I want to back up a second. When they go out and have a good time, I have a 6-pack here. So,
all right.
And it's when they're coming on to the lady at the bar and Trigger says, "Name is Trigger," as in horses, and hung like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst. And the funny, it's so fucking bad.
That's good stuff.
It is. And then the next morning, when they come home after spending all the money all night, I love the paperboy cheering them on. Like, yeah, get him, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. I really dug that. I really dug that.
You know,
it was one of my favorites.
There's always room in movies for a paperboy.
Now I want to go back to a scene.
$2.
Yeah. Oh, see, and I've talked to Anthony about doing an episode on bullies for our Patreon, and one of them that came up to mind was that guy right there. You know it.
I do.
Know it. You know it. I want my $2.
Yeah, I don't think that's bullying. Do you feel like in that movie, Better Off Dead, do you feel like he grew up to be a collections agent?
I think he grew up to be a bounty hunter.
Or a bounty hunter, which is collecting.
He's dog the bounty
collecting.
Hunter.
Still doing collections.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Collecting people.
He graduated into bigger money. Or he's one of those. You ever watch Airplane Repo?
I have not watched that. No.
Okay, I used to love watching that. They do those reenactments of actual airplane repossessions. That's probably what he did, repossessing like $1 million aircrafts and getting like 20% of the value for it. Yeah. That's what he's doing because he was badass.
I got to throw in one thing with Kirk Cameron.
Yeah.
Or not Kirk Cameron, sorry. But Dudley Moore, when he's home, pretend to be sick.
Yeah. He's
watching MTV.
Oh, yeah. That's the greatest.
I love anytime we get in a movie, some old school MTV on TV. That's awesome.
That is great. But there's the thing. Once he gets found out, he goes to work. But I'm gonna bring this up because I think you have a note too.
Yes,
they're sitting in the fucking boardroom and they're smoking in a hospital. It was like a way different time, man.
That blew my mind. I forgot about that, and I'm like, holy shit. That's like, but they had fucking like in high schools, teacher lounges, they would fucking smoke in there.
Yeah, they would
everywhere.
And the other thing is what the whole meeting's about and what he gets in trouble for. You have a note on that. Like, we use the usual message we hear to help everyone, but if you do, you'll go broke. We hear that in every hospital movie. But, you have a note here.
Just the fact like that back then,
as now,
they're bringing up the issue of the lack of health insurance, and it's still just as relevant today. It's fucking crazy.
Because it's all about money. It's right. That's what it always comes to. Do we want to spend the money to save someone's life because we are for profit?
And that's the problem. Is no.
Yeah, the short answer, at least in the United States, is no. And then there are hospitals who do it, but they're the lower quality ones, and people don't want to go to those.
Right, because you don't even get the Snoopy Band-Aids when you're done.
You maybe get a Band-Aid.
Maybe get a Band-Aid.
That's what that is. It's like, you asking for Snoopy? Fuck that.
You're lucky you get fucking Scotch tape on that wound, bitch.
All right, I'm going to go on to the next section here.
Right.
Meanwhile, Jack has problems of his own, and Chris's body at school, his knowledge of the schoolwork, and his willingness to point out troublemakers in class has him shunned by his fellow students. He takes his son's girlfriend, Lori, to a concert, but does not enjoy himself, finding the music too loud. He fails to perform at the big relay race, dropping the baton and attempting to dive to the finish line and coming up far short. Rick later beats him up because of the track meet and taking Lori out. I'm just going to say with this track meet, I don't think I needed to see Kirk Cameron in these shorts.
Yeah, I don't think you need to see anybody in those shorts.
Those are those ones, like, what was the movie where Billy Madison, where when he's getting ready and they're like, oh, he saw his balls,
Yeah, I think if you're going to do that, we got to go the Goonies route where Bran wears the shorts over the sweats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Your Sean Astin link.
There you go. Another one. Okay.
Yeah, wear them over the sweats because that was just the dumbest thing ever too when people started doing that.
But to me, even weirder than that, especially in the 80s, track to me is a lame sport to glorify in a movie about teenagers. I mean, football is more, baseball is better.
No, I'm going to debunk that right now. I completely disagree because
You're
what other
wrong.
sport do you see Kirk Cameron being really good at in a movie that would be believable?
I have no clue. Archery?
Exactly. So would you rather see archery? So I think Kirk Cameron probably has like Keanu Reeves syndrome when it comes to sports and movies.
You know, maybe that's why he went
But
religious, because he's going to pray really hard to get some athletic ability.
I got another thing for you here too, though,
Yeah.
to actually back this up. The same director did Teen Wolf, and he realized, man, I fucked up putting Michael J. Fox on a basketball court.
But
I'm
as
not
a
doing that
wolf,
with Kirk
he was
Cameron.
but
As
the
a
wolf
wolf,
dunking.
yes. But as a 4'9" dude, no. So I think the same. I think he learned from that was like, I can't put Kirk Cameron on the football field, or like I would say I could have seen Kirk Cameron playing baseball. That I could have seen.
Yeah.
But you know, track, it works. I think it works.
All right. So, but here's my thing with that is, how does he still have a chance to win even after that fucking like NFL Follies style fumble of the baton and kicking it around the field? I felt like I was watching one of those old NFL films where they show all the fumbles.
Because he was fresh. He hadn't run yet. He was ready to go. He had some extra juice in the tank.
He had that, what do they call it? The kick, something kick, their last name. I forget their last name. The kick. He had their kick. Hammond kick. He had the Hammond kick.
There you go.
The Hammond kick.
Yep. See?
That's what it was. But I do want to talk about the date. Is this the same gray area as Big? But it's the older guy is the young body dating a high schooler. Like this seems like a real like.
It is. It's not, like he's not trying to score with her.
That is different. That is different. If he like tried to hit that and when it went home to his son and gone, hey, I did what you couldn't. Bada bing.
Oh no. Because again, Dudley Moore's character in this movie is like, my son is staying a virgin until I tell him he doesn't have to be one.
As a body, but not as a. But his mind is. Are you a virgin in the body or in the mind? I guess that's a good question to ask. Is it more a mental virgin or a physical thing?
I think that's
if you were. Every boy is not a virgin the moment he can think about it. That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, but we do get the converse with Chris and Jack's boss's wife, like, you know, and that ended in flames. Haha.
Mm-hmm. Ha ha
ha. But I am not but after all of this, I'm not a fan of the assault that they like he just gets to beat up the guy, like, you know, he just gets beat up. Like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so 80s though, I guess.
Yeah.
That is so 80s. Just beat the fucker up. That's all it is.
Get a beat down.
It is your turn, right?
That's how we handled shit back in the day. Yeah. So they finally get in touch with Earl, who explains that they can get the antidote if they go on a trip to Death Valley. After a few hiccups, they finally find the key ingredient for the antidote. Trigger's Uncle Earl makes it up and they drink it. However, looking into each other's eyes does not immediately work. Earl explains it can sometimes take a while to kick in. Finally works as Jack is in Chris's body, is running late for a meeting. He slips on the wet floor and knocks a woman out of the window at school. Chris and Jack's body is on his way to a meeting about his dad becoming chief of staff at the hospital, which will not happen now that Jack's boss found out what Chris did with his wife while in Jack's body. Now back in their own bodies, both of them race to the hospital with an epic overlying Motley Crue jam. Take a ride on the wild side. Although Chris takes time to knock out Rick. They go in Jack's car, wrecking it along the way. Chris speaks up at the chief of staff meeting to try to persuade his dad's boss to give his dad the job, but his boss will not hear it. Jack walks in at this point and says he does not want the chief of staff job anymore. He can basically shove it up your ass. He would much rather spend the overtime with his son instead. They go home, but on the way out, Trigger sees Rick and gives him the brain transference serum, or BTS, if you're cool. The next person that looks into his eyes is none other than Jack's employer, Dr. Larry Armbruster. The film ends as they both scream after they switch bodies.
Yeah, this ending is weird. I have some scruples, for sure. But one of the things I want to talk about, it's nice that that they got the cure, but Did we get enough time with them in each other's bodies, or get enough good gags? Do you think they could have settled into a little bit more with them being in different bodies, or maybe done a better job of telling us a different story? Because it seemed like it was okay, but I didn't think I got like good gags out of it,
Yeah.
Like when you watch Big, or even 18 Again, if you've watched that back in the day, when he goes to his friends and he sings the By the Light of the Silvery Moon with they did the fucking Big gag in that movie,
I
didn't
will
they?
tell you, it makes you wonder what got left on the cutting room floor. I'm assuming that they probably did more shit.
But it just got cut. You're saying because
That's my guess.
it feels a little incomplete. Like we missed something. That's all.
A sequel?
Yeah. I just feel like we missed something there, and I don't know how I feel about the ending. I'm not great. I'm not big on it.
Yeah.
Oh, so sucks. But here's the thing: their whole thing is when he goes in there to try and talk. Like at the end, he's trying to talk. Why does he think he could talk those people into rehiring his dad? Like these are big boy problems. Like I don't think he understood anything in the end.
Well, he did. He knows, like, it's his fault that his dad's in this situation right now. So he's trying to fix it. He caused this.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just, that's his Hail Mary at the end.
I guess. But in the end, he didn't want it, which was really
he learned that by switching bodies, that he didn't actually want that.
But he's still a surgeon. He's still going to have demands.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
no.
yeah. I don't think, now, I know you have a thing here, but I don't think this brought them closer together. I didn't feel that. I felt like they understood each other more, but they still are miles apart on who they will end up becoming.
No, I think they're closer than they were. It brought them closer together. Maybe not necessarily super close together, but I think a big reason is because they learn to appreciate what the other one goes through in their lives.
Yeah, his dad's a rock star surgeon who makes a lot of money, who now doesn't have to worry about all the bullshit of trying to become chief of staff.
Right.
He certainly appreciates that.
Walk a mile in my shoes, but do it while you're wearing my underwear and you have my dick.
Oh, ooh. I wonder how that felt like when you went to the restroom. Did you not look down? Or did you try to do a pee without touching, like a good aim? Like how did you look? Like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to do it. What do you mean,
did I? Like, I didn't experience this. You're asking me, like,
did you do this? Like, yeah. Did you, when you switched bodies with me, did you look away from my dick? Try to pee? Whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No.
Ah, okay. Now,
if we switch bodies, I would just put a blindfold on when I peed. How about that?
Right. I will say that was pretty
Yeah. I'd sit down and pee girly style with a blindfold on.
Of course you would.
There you go.
You already do that just without the blindfold.
Gotta avoid the splash, man.
Whatever. I will say that means it's on your ass, by the way. It means it splashed onto your ass.
No, not if you do it right.
Oh God, I don't even want to know what you're what you're doing.
This is fun.
I don't even want people. You got to let me know what's the right way. What's he talking about?
Fun. The right way is with a urinal.
Of course, but you don't have one.
Oh, I do now.
Is there a urinal in this new house?
Yes, there is.
Oh shit! Where is it?
In the basement.
So I got to hang out there. Okay.
Got a urinal.
Okay. But do you have one next to it so I can?
What's funny is we were doing another walkthrough with it, and they actually left a big box of extra urinal pads.
Like, urinal cakes and pads? Do you want a cake or a pad?
They're the pads that they left.
I might buy you cakes for Christmas.
Okay.
So that you'll have options, because, you want options. Now, I will say, at the end of this movie, it was reckless, in my opinion, to give Rick the syrup. He's just fortunate that Jack's boss was the next guy that looked at him. What if a nurse came to help him and looked him in the eyes, and all of a sudden, that shit happens? That's a better movie than what we watched.
No, it wasn't about consequences. It was about just consequences for that asshole.
I guess, man.
Like, I want to fuck your day up. But
yeah,
but you
gotta, say you fuck some other people's day up. You never know who. What? Here's my thing. Here's another thing. What if they roll someone by him who's about to die, and they look into each other's eyes, that guy swaps.
That's a
consciousness with him,
movie right there.
and then that guy fucking dies. Is he gone?
Yeah,
Where the
you
fuck
can't
is-
switch back.
What's this? Shit happens, man. We could have made a better movie.
That would have been a movie right there.
Yeah, like the guy's on life support. We gotta look, and he can't open his eyes. We gotta get him awake. So I'm gonna give a 6-pack here.
All right.
I've got 1 6-pack, and it's just an overall thing. And it's the Dudley Moore's performance. I think he was the best thing about this movie. There's a lot of bad things about this movie, and he
Yes.
was the best thing. He played the straight-laced adult very well. And then when he had to be the kid, you saw the switch. You saw the it was just like bam, and he was that. Well, with Kirk Cameron, it was, you had to wait. You couldn't see the body language the same, in my opinion. It just wasn't the same. Like he just, it was Kirk Cameron. He's
Mhm.
yeah.
It was Mike Seaver.
Mike Seaver. Yeah, it was Mike Seaver turning into even more Mike Seaver. That's what it is. You're right. Yeah, that's so bad. It's so bad. So, anyways. That's
it.
this movie. I know it's not a long one because,
It's
there's not
not.
much to it,
There's
which
not.
is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
It's
much.
one of those 80s movies. You could almost call it a throwaway.
I could watch it again. If it
But
were
I could
on,
watch
I'd
it,
watch
yes.
it.
But that's the thing. It's like even rewatching it to do this episode, I was like, I do like this movie. It's not the greatest, but I do like it.
I could watch another one like it. Like I could watch Freaky Friday, or I could watch,
Right.
I could watch other body swap movies after watching this one. Say, oh, maybe I'll watch that.
Yeah. It's a gateway
'Cause
drug.
It is
Body-
a gateway drug.
Body-
All right, do you have your question here?
All right, memorabilia time. What would you like to own from this movie if you could have it? I'm just
Well-
going to say the vial of BTS, the brain transference serum, just because it'd be a little fun, quirky thing. Like,
If it really worked, we would do
not that
that.
I'm just saying
Oh yeah.
that's the brain transference serum vial from like father, like son. It'd just be a fun, small little thing to put.
Would you do the creepy thing and switch places with a really hot actress?
I would actually, what I would do is I would take that and I would use it as a shot glass.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That would be fun.
I would like the burnt couch.
The burnt couch.
Yeah, because you
Wow.
could say, I have the burnt couch from Like Father, Like Son,
'Cause
and
that's
no
a-
one would know.
Great fucking thing to have in your house.
I don't know where I'd put it. That's the question. Maybe
The
just
dump?
a cushion.
The fucking
don't know.
dump.
Put it in a glass box and say, this is the burnt couch from this movie.
Yeah, you could bring everybody over and be like, hey, you want to see the worst piece of movie memorabilia ever?
Check this
Well,
out.
check this out.
I've got a piece of shit right over there that you'll enjoy.
If they hadn't, that is in the dump somewhere, or decomposed by now.
No one saved that. No one saved that. That's no one
It's
saved. Are
just-
you ready
it's fine.
for
Nobody saved that. But it would be the worst piece of movie memorabilia anyone could ever own.
Yeah, I found the worst piece to pick. That's what I did, actually. Because it's like I couldn't find anything cool, so I was like, I'll just pick the worst thing I can
I
find.
was like, hey, this is the solo cup from American Pie that Stifler drank out of.
Yeah. All right, are you ready for...
Did you hear, speaking of American Pie, sorry, but
Yeah?
what's his name? Rookie of the Year.
Thomas Ian Nichols.
Yes, it was just funny. I was listening to the radio this morning, and they were talking about how he's in the news because he's getting divorced.
Oh, that's too bad.
But they were just like, this is news?
That is the news.
That Henry Rowan Gardner is getting divorced?
Rowan Gardner.
All
Throw
right.
him the high, stinky
Limburger!
burger. All right, let's rate this bitch up.
I just watched that the other day with my son, so that's why it's fresh in my mind.
All right, I'll go first. There was a strange run of body swap movies in the late 80s. Dream a Little Dream was one too. And oddly, I don't know that this was the best one, but it's the one we picked to do. I love that Dudley Moore's in it. As I said, that was my 6-pack. He's great. He makes this movie way better than it really deserves to be. I like the body swap mechanism because in other ones, like they have to have their hand on this totem.
Yeah.
And there's other magical things that happen.
Right. This is more an actual, basically a drug that does it.
Yeah. Like it's not, you don't have to think of it is mystical, but there's at least you could say, hey, there's a thing that you take and it happens.
Can I throw this in though? This is something I find very curious. Dudley Moore is a fucking surgeon. Why isn't he more interested in finding out more about the damn serum?
Oh yeah. Well, considering and we'll go backwards. Considering the whole reason we learn about it is because the dude broke his fucking leg, and they used it so they could do surgery and have a younger person in his body or something. Yeah. I don't know why. I guess so he didn't feel the pain. He let somebody else do it.
Right.
That's a really nice guy.
No shit.
I mean, next time I want to do something, next time I have like a gout flare, I want to switch bodies with you.
All right.
So you can feel the pain, man. I just want you to hurt. That's all.
Well,
okay. Anyways,
I'll do something to fuck myself up right before we do it, just so you have to deal with it.
But my point of all that was that I like the body swap mechanism in this better than other movies. I'm not a fan of Kirk Cameron, and not just as who he is personally, but as an actor, he's kind of stiff. So, normally in a movie he's in, I would rate it way below average. But because
that doesn't happen that often, though.
You're right.
Well, it does, just not the kind of movies you really want to watch.
You're right. Again. Because of Moore being in it, he brings it up to me as an average movie. So I call it a meh. It's 12.
All right. So I will say the one thing I kind of disagree with you on is Kirk Cameron. That's why I'm glad we did this, because we don't have a lot to pick from to do a Kirk Cameron movie. And again, like I talked about earlier, I love watching it just because it does still make you wonder what could have been with his career.
Yeah, if he could have gotten his shit together, yeah.
Could he have? What else could he have been in that has since been made? What movies?
Why couldn't he have been a Scientologist and gone the Tom Cruise route?
Yeah.
I mean, while that's shitty too, at least it makes you productive.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, there's that.
Makes you productive. Yeah, I wonder what level Kirk Cameron would have got to in Scientology.
Good question.
He could have got to like Ultra Magnus level. So again, it's a fun movie, and I think it's just the nostalgia for me with this movie is Kirk Cameron, because it is like Kirk Cameron in a teen movie. It's like frozen in time to me, because then like nothing after that.
No, you're right.
So it's kind of like that. That's like, oh man, because this was Growing Pains.
His career experience, some of
very
those.
well known actor at the time. He's on Tigger Beat and all that shit. All the good magazines. He's on all the good non-porn magazines. Kirk Cameron was on the cover of every fucking one of them in his pink shirt. So, but you're like, the movie itself is pretty fucking average. But the fact that we've got Kirk Cameron, we've got Sean Astin.
Yeah, I didn't even mention him.
Yeah. And we didn't mention him a lot because he's a sidekick.
I did. I mentioned his one line that was pretty creepy.
He's Kirk Cameron's Pauly Shore in this movie, basically.
But not the good guy though. Not the good.
But yeah, so I give it just a bit higher than you. I give it a 13.
Oh, so we're about right. We're about in the same spot.
12 and a half.
What is there anything like this in our collection of? We've done over 100 movies now, so
yeah, it's like I got a lot to scroll through when we do that.
Yeah, well, it's because he doesn't know how to make it to where he can sort. I don't think he's figured that out.
Yeah, I can sort. I just choose not to.
Okay.
We have Clue at 12 and a half, but that's your fault because you gave it a 7.
That's about right. That's how I feel about it.
12 and a half. Look Who's Talking, which is kind of a body swap movie.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, there's some things I enjoy about it, but in the end, it's
kind of your like that would make sense that would be rated.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Do we got any other 12 and a halves here? Just check in. 12.25 Explorers.
Well, that's if it didn't have that second fucking half of that movie.
No.
That would be a way higher score. But
Explorers,
once that alien eats a fucking harmonica, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
Sadly, we have Roadhouse at 12. And Roadhouse is a better fucking movie.
Oh man, what do we have it scored?
What?
What's the scores? What did we have on it? You and me.
Roadhouse?
Yeah.
We both gave it a 12.
Oh fuck. Can we amend that? Just
I think that's what if I ever had to amend something on here, it'd probably be that one.
It has to go at least to 13, so it's above this piece of shit.
Yeah, it's in stone. It's on Excel. So
it's etched in stone. It ain't changing.
It's etched in Excel. I can't change that shit. But yeah, that's pretty much some of our bench. We fucking Saving Silverman is 13.25, which
It isn't that great of a movie.
it's not.
That's
It's
about
be better than that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
that's where we're at.
It's in that range. There's those, while we may have Roadhouse at that, as a movie, as a film, when you look at it, it is average. The only thing that makes it above average is the characters, and that is it. You have, the throat pull, Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott.
Terry
Those
Funk.
things are what makes it better. Other than that, and the guy who brought J.C. Penney to town, Wesley.
Brad Wesley.
But the plot itself is shit. So, so there you go.
Yeah.
What? Don't
Lone
look at me that way.
bouncer roaming the country.
All right. We would like to thank you for listening. We also encourage you to join our Patreon so you can get some of that bonus content that we're going to be offering and other fun stuff. For example, like we said, we're going to be dropping some bonus episodes of maybe cartoons that we might like. We talked about Hallmark because we like to talk about that once a year.
Yeah,
that might
could
be a
contest. You could win our father's porn collections.
Yes, you could. If you get a C on a test, let us know.
Yes.
In college, because you have to be above 18 to listen to this. Okay. And just to remember, you can go to sodapopcultureclub.com for all things related to the show, including your chance to make movie suggestions and our episode schedules there as well. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we have a Twitch channel. Now, Anthony, we want to give them a tease.
Above 18? I think you have to be above 37 to appreciate
it, but to listen to it and listen to art. So I really stumped him with that one, people. He didn't expect
18. Shit.
Didn't expect that. We want you to give them a tease as to what next week's movie may be.
I read the instructions.
Yes, that's a good one.
I know.
That's a good one. I can't believe you remember that,
dude. I fucking know this movie.
Oh, who doesn't? This movie's overplayed. Okay. Now, what the fuck is he doing? Oh, what's he doing? Oh, yes, he just showed me the card stock placard of it. So, there you go. And here's the thing. You know what? We do teases on here as to what our next movies would be, and we do have a schedule. But maybe I'll stop putting the schedule on and and we'll tease it on here, but maybe we'll put it in our Patreon so our Patreons will always know what the next movie is.
I can give you one more tease too.
Give me. Go ahead.
This movie makes you realize there's a brand new life around the bend.
Okay. Now, as always, we want to thank you for listening. Is there anything else you have there, sir?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Could not do this without you guys, because if it wasn't for the listeners, we would be just talking to nobody. So that's always good. Please jump on our stuff, leave some reviews. We always appreciate that, and feel free to order some stuff. We got some swag.
We do. There you go.